Hey you, it's Jess here and welcome back to my channel. I just want to apologize for the lack of videos. Recently, I injured my right hand, which is like my dominant hand, and it's taken many weeks to get to where I am in terms of no longer, basically I pinched a nerve in this finger and it basically triggered a whole carpal tunnel thing, and I've just been sort of prioritizing working on using my hand to draw for my work rather than having to like write in my reading journal, because we're going to go through a mid-year flip through of my reading journal today, even though it is September. But I've been meaning to do this since mid-year, but August was basically right out, and I've needed to write a lot of things in my journal to show it to you, but and I haven't finished writing in it. Writing on paper has actually become really difficult for me, so my handwriting is going to be terrible. Just a heads up. And also don't read what I wrote in my reviews, because there are spoilers in it, and also my writing and spelling makes no sense. So I think in the future, I think from now on I'm going to give up on full page reviews. I tried it for my reading journal, but I don't think I will continue because I just didn't really enjoy the process, and the handwriting has just become too difficult for me. So I've written as much as I can right now, but I want to get this video up to you so you can see a mid-year flip. Of course, this is my notebook therapy journal, and I used it also for 2024. I've actually only used this for a whole year now because I started this in September last year. But of course this holds, like, I back planned a bunch of my 2024 stuff in it, and it's a bit scuffed. You can see here scuffs. The elastic just broke off, like I was closing it and it just came straight out. And one of the ribbons also just pulled straight out. So she's hanging on by a thread, you guys. I have enough room, I think, to finish off. I definitely have enough room to finish off the year in this. So this will have both 24 and 25 in it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into a new journal once this is done. But yeah, so we won't look through 2024 because I have videos on my channel for that. But I do have my 2025 here, and there is a setup on my channel. I set it up during my Planmas, so it should be my Planmas 2024. Sorry, a burp. My 2024 Planmas playlist, if you want to see that. But I did try and connect these two together. So this is the start of my 2024. And this is my 2025, using stickers from Soup Story, who is a Korean artist. And I just found her on a random website. And I'm using a lot of Scribble Prints Co kits, Scribble Prints Co reading stickers, like this reading journal label. So this is my front page, and then I have my yearly goals and my everyday log. I do have a couple of days to catch up on here, but I've pretty much read every single day in September so far. But you can see I really dropped off in May and June. I was obsessed with some Miss Lollipop Sims streams, her Sims streams. And when I get obsessed into a stream, watch-a-thon, binge-a-thon, and they're like, 3 to 4 hours long each, I end up just watching these streams and never reading, because I watch them while I work, but also before I go to sleep, and those are my two main reading times. So yeah, it really eats into my reading time, but I'm looking forward to getting back into my reading goals in these cooler months. But my yearly goals, I have work on 5 series, which I did complete. So I just did some little stars and ticks there to show that I completed it. I also completed read 50 books, which I was so proud of myself. I read 50 books by the middle of the year. I'm definitely not going to read another 50, I'm pretty sure. But I was really happy with that, because last year I read just over 40. Let me have a look. Thing is, the nice thing about having this, like, my goal last year was to read 40, so I put an extra 10, and these are my 2023 reads, which I think was 30. So I can't actually remember. I don't want to like have to, count all of that. I read 55 books. Okay, so I've actually just hit 55. So I am going to go over what I did last year, but I think in 2026, I'm still just going to have 50 books as my goal. Because it's only like, there's not as many books coming out as I already own, like, that I want to read. So My partner and I have been buying books for a long time, and so we have a big backlog. I have finished my 25 books in 2025 goal, which we'll see in a minute how far I'm into that, but I'm not finished with that. That's my last push for the last half of the year to finish. Collect the Sailor Moon manga Eternal editions. I haven't finished that. There's 10 of them and I have 3 of them. Sorry, I'll cut that. I might cut that out, but my light just died suddenly. So anyway, I just had to look back at my bookcase behind me, and yes, I've got 3 of them and there's 10. I just haven't had the money in the latter half of the year to just be buying them, but hopefully I can continue later on, because I do want to collect the whole lot of the Sailor Moon manga. Then I wanted to read 5 new to me authors, which I did get done, and then catch up in our One Piece volumes. I still have, oh gosh, I have 5 omnibuses, which are 3 volumes each to read. So I don't think I'm going to get this yearly goal done, but I will try and push and read some more One Piece when I can. I just have a lot more stuff I want to read at the moment. But once again, these stickers that are functional are from SPC, and these are Soup Storage stickers, which I just love. They're such a cool artist. I haven't been able to find any more stickers from them because they're a Korean artist, but yeah, I love them for my setup here. Then I have a 2025 releases calendar spread, and I've just crossed out the ones that I've actually bought. Or Bury Our Bones in Midnight Soil. My friend Andrea of SPC kindly gifted me her Book of the Month version, so I did read that. And I pre-ordered Queen Demon and Strength of the Few. That's Martha Wells and James Islington. And Drop of Corruption. And then Ember Dark we pre-ordered. I got Watermoon for a book club, which was useful. And then the Guild Club for Aurelium. But yeah, there's a whole lot more in here that I haven't picked up. But again, my spending has not been so focused on books at the moment. But I'm going to go back and get some more of these. At the moment, I have Audible as my main way to get books. My main way of reading this year has been really digital on my Kindle. But I find Kindle books also very expensive unless I find them on sale, especially compared to getting a physical book. But physical books are not always possible here where I live. I live in Finland, so English books are more limited, even though apparently Finns on a survey prefer to read fantasy and sci-fi in English, but it's less available here. They only get 2 or 3 copies for a lot of books. And then the prices are 20 euros for a paperback, so it gets expensive, and also space. But Audible, we actually use Audible still because, well, I originally started reading got back into reading through audiobooks, and I use them while I work. So I listen to a book while I draw. But my mother-in-law, Locke's mother, she gets us a bunch of credits for Christmas. So I've got 12 credits right now, so I should probably pick up some of these books. I was just hoping I'd be able to get some of them digitally, but I think I'm going to have to put up with more audiobooks because that's what I can afford through my credits. So I definitely want to get The Second Death of Locke, which is funny because that's my partner's name. I also need to get Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon because I do love those Prior to the Orange Tree books. And then The Everlasting Island Silver Sea. There's so many Lady Night books out this couple of months that I really want. And I need to go back and read Hungerstone and stuff. But yeah. Oh, and The Starving Saints. But yeah, so I haven't done too well on my 2025 releases, but I've done, I guess, well enough. But yeah, most of these were audiobooks that I used my credits, so I'm just I'm not prioritizing that this year because I have a lot of books I need to read that I already have, which comes into my 25 books in 2025. These are all books that I already owned, but the one downside that I've found from this is that they're almost all a first book. Any of these standalone. Not really. Maybe Wolf Hall is standalone, although I don't know if there's other books in that. But these are books I already own, and almost all of them are just a first book. And then, of course, I like to continue on with series. So it's been really hard to get through this because then I want to read some extras. But I've actually only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 left to go. And the problem is the 9 left are audiobooks and they're much slower for me. So I'm going to have to keep working on those. And basically after September, so October, November, and December, these are my only audiobooks I'll be reading from this list to try and get it down. Well, The Vanished Birds is a one-off. So I'll probably do that in October. But yeah, so I've done most of these, which I'm pretty happy about. We already owned all of these in audio or digital. And yeah, so the thing with like with The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, that was a 4-book series and I ended up reading all 4 of them. So it kind of took out space from these other ones. But overall, it's been pretty good. Oh, also Quantum Faith. Yeah, I'm about to read the 3rd book of that one. This is the first. So yeah, I got really into that. Salem's Lot is definitely going to be an October book. And then, yeah, so I still have a couple more left to go. But I made a good dent recently on these. So 9 is pretty good, in my opinion. So then I just have a list for my 2025 reads. I found that I just really like to have a list with the star rating, and I just do the number because I find that easier to reference and also put in here. And I did number it this time because, as you saw last year, I did not number it. And so it's really hard to remember, like, this is 55 books, but now I can see the number and I've actually hit 55 books. Oh no, I've hit 56 because I haven't put in The Memory Police that I just finished. And then I just put the date here, which I don't think I'll put the date in it next time, but it's nice to see it filling up, and I realize I might actually go over this if I have all the books I plan to read. So I might just, at the end of the book, I might just add another, like 1 page of this for my extra books. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this page came out. Then I have my Goodreads book tracker, my Goodreads goal, and I did hit 50 this year, so super happy with that. And then my book bingo is going really well. Actually, how about we fill this in right now? Let me just get my tray of markers here, because I have just finished Memory Police, which is translated. So yay, I can finish that off. So I have only 1 left to do on my bingo. And I hit bingo a long time ago. But I was more like, I just want to, it's less of a bingo, more I want to actually just fill it in. But yeah, I just read The Memory Police, which is translated from Japanese. And then my last one is the 1988 release. And I did that because that was my birth year. And I do have a book from 1988. I'm rereading the Alana series by Tamara Pierce, and the last book is from 1988. So that'll be my last book for the bingo. But yeah, I was able to get through this, including my Goodreads goal hit. So I'm pretty happy with that one. I thought that turned out really well. I even got a romantasy in there. Not that I liked it that much, but yeah, so my book bingo is coming out really well. Then my rainbow challenge is almost there. I have 1 book, which is pink. And literally no books that I have are pink. I don't read romances as much as I actually love romance covers, like the current style. But yeah, I don't read them, so a pink book is hard when you mostly read fantasy and sci-fi and also some literary fiction and classics. So I don't know if I'm going to get pink, but we will see. Because yeah, I keep just looking at all my covers and like, nothing's pink. Although I guess I could argue my Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, I want to reread that for my Y here. And I got the cover that has pink text, maybe I would just count that as pink. But otherwise, I got a lot of other colors in here so far. My alphabet reading challenge, I feel like I nailed it because I feel like O, U, and X, at least U and X are really hard. I want to reread Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, so there's Y done. But yeah, I recently got like J filled out and I, so I was pretty happy with this. I don't think I'm going to finish it, but because I feel like X is hard. I feel like with X, maybe you can like cheat and just do an X author, but that's also hard. Maybe they have an X in the name, but yeah. So I feel like my alphabet challenge is going pretty well too. And then here's my monthly favorites, like pin board that I drew from scratch when I'm still so proud of it and I love the way it's come out. Of course, we have more than half the year here, but yeah, so January was The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. If you love a fantasy murder mystery that is really, really weird, it's got shades of Sherlock, but also shades of other detective partners. And then your narrator is Din, who is like a disaster buy. So highly recommend those. Both Tainted Cup and the second book, A Drop of Corruption, were 5 stars for me. Then we have Mark Lawrence, The Book That Wouldn't Burn, which I feel like the further I get away from this book, the less I like it. But I still really enjoyed it as a different kind of fantasy that I've read. Then we have Ancillary Mercy from Anne Leckie. This was the the final book in the trilogy for the Ratch. Loved it. Just if you're looking for some sci-fi with AI and a female writer and just weird characters who have such a weird sense of just life, it's a very odd set of books. I loved it. Then, of course, Drop of Corruption came out. And then I chose Hanu Rajaniemi, The Quantum Thief. He is a Finnish writer, but I think he wrote all of these in English, so they're not translated. But this, if you're a big fan of sci-fi and you're ready, The Quantum Thief is a sci-fi that explains literally nothing. He just shoves you deep in the deep end of the pool. You just gotta go for it. There's a lot of sci-fi, there's a lot of actual science fiction. I think he has a PhD in quantum physics or another science. So a lot of science in there. Explains nothing to you, is crazy world building about a thief called Jean Le Flambeur. If you want to know, get a sense, if you're into sci-fi, this is a post-singularity, post-human story. Basically, people no longer need to be in human bodies, and yeah, I know, it's crazy. I loved it. The more you read, the more you understand it. I think I'm gonna reread, it would be even better, but I loved it. Then we have June, which is Alana, The First Adventure, my reread of my favorite childhood books of all time, which I haven't reread since I was a child. So I haven't reread Alana at all since I was 10, because when I got really into her books, she had just started bringing out, I think, maybe the end of Dane's books, or the very beginning, I know, of Kelladry's books, and Kelladry is my favorite. So yeah, so I never reread Alana, but I've been loving it. I loved it. Even though it's from the 80s and it's old, I loved it anyway. And anyway, I know this is beyond mid-year, but let's go into it. I read Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. My first Robin Hobb, and well, I guess it's the first book you should read. Fascinating. I loved it. Just like a weird, slow character book. And I loved this, I don't know, just this fantasy world. Although I will say, it gives very much a series of unfortunate events, a very much Pip in Great Expectations. Poor Fitz. Nothing goes right for him. So if you want to, I don't find the assassin books very hopeful, to be honest. And then August, this is actually a novella of a series that I have not read the other books for. So this is 2.5. So technically I should have read the first 2 books, and then the 3rd book is about to come out. So this is a novella in the middle. But I got an ARC. This is my very first ARC. I joined up on NetGalley and I had a look around, and I was like, oh, I'll just apply for this Adrian Tchaikovsky book. And I didn't realize it was a novella that was 2.5 in his new series, Lives a Bitter Rain. But I I haven't actually read, this is my second Adrian Tchaikovsky book. But I really, really enjoyed it, actually. I think you said in the author's note you didn't need to have read the other books. Like, you can read it before and after, it doesn't really matter, but I actually really loved it. I loved this world building. It's like such a weird bureaucracy fantasy. It's also very much, I feel, I don't know, it was so strange, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it, even though, like, I literally have not read these other books, but this is about a side character who is going to be in book 3, so they're not in books 1 and 2, and he wanted some backstory for this character, and he ended up just making this novella about her, and I loved it. So I'm definitely going to get the other books, but yeah, so that was a weird experience, but it was my favorite book of August, so I had to go there. Then I have my stats tracker that I track from Storygraph, and I totally messed up on April, so it's not very cute anymore, but I'm just making do. It's fine. But you can see, like, in June and May I read 3 and 2 books, and every other month it's like 7, 8, 9, so a slow month for me. Then I have my movie tracker, which maybe I shouldn't have done in pink, but I've kind of been enjoying it. So these are just sort of the new movies that I've watched. I actually have to add a new one because I've never watched. We watched the 80s RoboCop, the original RoboCop, and I've never watched it before, so I should put it in here. But we got the new Wallace and Gromit film, 5 stars. Then we watched all of the Hunger Games films. So we got the Hunger Games we did 4 or 3.5 because we enjoyed, like, the style, and then it kind of lost the style on the rest of the films. I feel like Twilight was the same. The first film has a cool style, and then they went kind of generic action. They have Catching Fire, Mockingjay 1, and Mockingjay 2, which I gave all 3 stars. And then we watched Ballad of the Songbirds, which was 3. Watched Conclave, that was 5. The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, I gave that 4.5 because it was just really fun. Like, hot English bimbos killing Nazis. What's more to love? K-pop Demon Hunters, Don't Come For Me, I gave it a 3. And that was being generous because I thought the film looked beautiful, but I'm not going to get into it because I don't want the flame wars happening. But I'm one of those people that did not care for K-pop Demon Hunters. I liked the cat and I liked the art direction, and that's as much as I'll say about that. But the same night that we watched K-pop Demon Hunters, we also watched Train to Busan, which is an older Korean film, and I gave that 4. I totally cried at the end. Oh my god. And also, what is his name? Is it Gong Li? Anyway, he's super hot. And then we watched RoboCop, which I'd probably give a 4 because it was maybe a 3. It was very enjoyable, but not the best of the 80s action films that I've seen, but I still really liked it. And then we have my Kindle library, my Audible library. I thought these were such fun spreads when I made them. I have to write really small in here, but yeah, I've been not working so much on my audiobooks, but I have been working through my extra. These are like all the books that weren't on my 25 and 2025 list, just everything that I had on most of the stuff that I had on my Kindle and everything on my audiobook, my Audible, just so I can be like, maybe what do I want to read? I'm not sure what I have on the app, so I can quickly look here. And yeah, so I think these came out cute. And then I have an extra series tracker here because I am still using one from last year that I have at the front. Where is it? So I was still using the series tracker because I haven't finished everything. I did use the wrong pink marker here, so I'm very sad about that. I finished some stuff here, like the Talon duology. Basically I read in 2025, this section, but because I already had it in here, I didn't want to just add it to this one. So I added an extra series tracker for new series that I started. So I got Farseer, we have Imperial Ratch, we have Monk and Robot by Becky Chambers, which I only haven't read the second novella because it's like €18 for the Kindle, and I'm like, it's a novella. Anyway, that's the same for the Fireborn Blade. I want to read the second novella, but I gotta prioritize here. I got Fallen Gods, Skyward I haven't started because again it's audiobook, and Fallen Gods, my second book's also Audible, so. Then we have The Rising World, which I'm waiting Queen Demon comes out in October or November, so I finished Wayfarers. I started Shadow of the Leviathan, which of course, he's only had 2 out so far, so I've basically finished it. Then we have his other series, the Founders Trilogy, and I've read the first one of that. Read the Gideon the 9th book, which I didn't love the character of Gideon, but I want to continue and try out the rest of the books. Then I tried this first book from the Protectorate series by Megan E. O'Keefe, and that was a really cool sci-fi, so I want to continue with that. Of course, we have Strength of the Few coming out that I've pre-ordered, so we've got Hierarchy by James Islington. I am actually finishing this month the Jean Le Flambeur, Raya Niemi trilogy. And then, of course, I have Song of the Lioness, which I want to continue, and I just read Justice of the King for Empire of the Wolf series, so I got the 3 main books here and the novella there, but those are what I'm currently working on, and I just made this a super simple tracker this time, and I just wanted to match it up, because I have a bunch of, like, basically I had no other spreads that went with this one, with Marigona Sully stickers and sort of a thing, so I decided to do this page in her style to have some follow through. All right. And then, sorry if this is like more of a yap than you expected, but hey, I haven't had a video in a while, so I wanted to catch you up and we can have like a nice long video together. So here's my January spread, and yeah, I've been trying to keep it more, basically like have a look at my September one here. Like I did this whole page with the calendar, and then I did all of these reviews, and I just find that I don't really need the reviews because I actually remember books really well. So yeah, I'm just kind of sticking to these like fun, I want to kind of stick to these fun 2-page spreads for my monthlies. So these are all the books I ended up reading in January, and I decided I needed to print my book covers off smaller. So I do that now, but I was also doing a winter reading challenge from SPC, and I got that all done, as you can see here. I'm not sure what winter the title. I think I included that from a past book because it was in winter. Then February, I tried something else here, and I didn't love it, so don't love this one, but I think it's still fine. I was just trying out something else, and I tried doing some calendars for a while, but I think I'm going to leave those out too. I'm just going to simplify everything for my journal. Plus, I also put in gaming and music in here, so, and movies and whatnot. So, yeah, I don't know. This is helping me figure out what I want to do for next year, I think. So February, here's the romantasy book I read, Faybound, and I didn't love it, I'm afraid. But I love the writer, but I'm afraid I didn't love the book. And then I tried Paladin's Grace, and also didn't love it. That was February. And then I was playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure. So this is just a gifting guide that I wanted to put in. It's super bright because that's like the colors of the game. But last year I also put in a gifting guide that I found for Fields of Mystria. So I kind of like having that sort of, I like to have the planner, like I'll just have the journal with me while I game. So I like to reference it. So yeah, I just have that in here for fun. And then I also wanted to do an Infinity Nikki playlist pages. So Infinity Nikki is just a game that I love playing. It's a gacha live service game, and they do amazing music. Even if you don't interested in the game, if you're interested in like game music, oh my god, definitely check it out. It's all on, so they release all of it as albums on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. And I just love the music from the game, and they've been bringing out every season as a album. So I wanted to sort of put them in here and put my favorite track. So the first 3 here are actually from the main story for 1.0. So these are technically all together, but they're separate albums. Because I love the song Find My Way, we have the Ghost Dance, which is like a really funky ghost dungeon music with crazy bass and guitar. And then we have like the Orosa Miracle is like a finishing song. I really love final songs, especially like the end of Disney films. I really love the end. Like the last track for Pocahontas just kills. It's my favorite of all time. I love it so much. So A Roast of Miracle is very much like that. And then we had Shooting Star Season, which I loved, Wishing Upon the Stars, which was actually a redo of one of the themes from the first album, but in a beautiful piano. Yeah, so I thought there's a couple of these playlist pages in here. And then here is, don't read this text because first it's bad, and also there's spoilers in here. But yeah, this is me attempting to do like one-page reviews, and I have some of these because I already set them up, but I'm not going to do them anymore. I went through June and I think, okay, half a year is fine, but I just can't write these. No matter how hard I try, my hand cannot last through these, not even a page. So no more. And I already know like why I like these books. So I was just doing them for like my favorite of the month books. So we have The Tainted Cup and Mark Lawrence, the book that wouldn't burn. And these are all stickers from SPC again. I guess I didn't say all of these. These are SPC stickers. I drew that, SPC stickers. Marigona Sully here. Again, Soup Story. This is Thumbelina Prints. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, I don't know. Plus, I can't do the... I've been taught how to do this markup writing, but I just no. I'm just going to give up on that for now. So I apologize for those in here, but I already had the pages set up, so it was either glue more pages together or, just do them. Then we have March, which is a bit more intense because I did the Realmathon Readathon, which is like a team-based readathon, which had a lot of prompts and points that you could do. Yeah, and you basically try to use up all the prompts that you can for each book. So there's a lot of points and stuff to keep track of. And then here is how I was keeping track of the points that I earned for each book. So I read a lot this month because of that and continued on. And then actually my team came last, so we lost. I tried, but oh well, I just can't read enough, I guess. And then I have a little bit of TV in here as well. These are the first half of the year kind of shows we're really into. So Severance, Reacher, we end up binge watching all of those 3 seasons. The Pit, of course, which, oh my god, yeah, The Pit just won a bunch of Emmys, and I'm so happy because it's so good. And then we really wanted some more medical show itch scratching, so we tried out like a couple of episodes of like Chicago Med and The Resident, and they weren't really for us, but we ended up enjoying New Amsterdam. New Amsterdam's very, I would say it's very preachy, but not in a terrible way, just like, okay. And it has some humor in that. So I did overall much prefer New Amsterdam over the others. It's still not The Pit, but if you're wanting like another medical show, definitely try out New Amsterdam. I actually really enjoyed it. I think my problem with Chicago Med and The Resident and other ones like that is that they filmed them really close up, and I really don't like when they film super close up. Like all you can see is their neck and head, but it's like I need some shoulders. Like step away, please. And also I don't know, it was, and then like in Chicago Med, everyone was mad at each other for like no reason in the first episode. And I was like, what is happening here? Anyway, it just wasn't for me. But I can definitely see why people enjoy it though, because I've seen a lot of clips on YouTube Shorts, and I enjoy the clips. I can't get into the full episode. But New Amsterdam, we end up watching all of that. Then we have April here, which was the spring equinox semester for Aurelium, which is the magical readathon. And yeah, this was my first proper equinox doing it. So I'm doing a Story Weaver, and I've got Art of Illusion book, my inscription, my psionics divination, and my law book. And then I ended up reading 2 extra books this month, so I was able to put them into another class, so I got extra credit. And then I read the Guild book, Water Moon, and it was kind of a letdown, to be honest. I love the cover, but yeah. And then here I used stickers from Sticky because I thought they looked really cute with this theme. But yeah, then we have May, which is SPC stickers. And of course, May is where I started dropping off on reading, but I did get 3 books read, 2 really, really good sci-fis, The Light Brigade by Cameron Hurley, and of course, Quantum Thief. And then a not so good sci-fi, Zero Limit, which was very it was very stereotypical, a bit tropey, and then I think it was written like 2017, 2018, and had this president character, which I just did not believe, to be honest. I was like, okay, I get it. But yeah, so I did obviously mermaid theme because it was mermaid. And then these are the pages for Ancillary Mercy and A Drop of Corruption. You can see my handwriting really dying here. And then I didn't do anything for June, and I got into August, so I'm like, you know what, I've got this summer reading challenge. I think I'm just going to put June, July, and August all together and have like my summer reading section. So yeah, I completed the reading challenge because I colored them in as I went. So yeah, these are the books I read through June. Just working on them. So I can't remember all of these. For some reason, I can't remember my book set. I think my book set at the beach or near water was actually Assassin's Apprentice. So I have 2 pages for summer. This is a bit. I want to do a little bit of a different theme. I didn't need it to all be connected that way. So I did put a different summary theme behind there compared to this one with the bubbles. But yeah, that was the water, and then. Of course, I was like, oh, I had the perfect book for a book with a bright cover, translation state, because look how colorful it is. But yeah, so lots of good books in here. I can't believe I actually filled up both pages with all that many books. But that is how many books I read in the summer months. Here's my only other Adrian Tchaikovsky, which was another novella called Ironclads. And it's completely different to Lives of Bitter Rain. Like, different narrator, different style. Yes. I really enjoyed that. I will say, actually, Lives of Bitter Rain, talking about unfortunate series of events from Assassin's Apprentice, but the writing style is almost Lemony Snicket for me in Lives of Bitter Rain. Like, it has a sort of dry wit to it. I don't know, it's strange. Yeah, so those are the summer books. I think those came out cute. And then I have a new Infinity Nikki playlist. This is Fireworks season. And then we have the Eerie season, and these are like the main singing songs. So there's like normal game soundtrack music, but there's also sung songs, like pop songs almost. So yeah, those are the songs from those seasons, and I loved them. Then we have Revelry season, which this was one of the dungeon platform level tracks, Illusion Showtime, which I liked. And then we have Bubble season, and this is another kind of song, the In the Eternal Snow. I'm just using some stickers from Sticky for that. And then my last full page reviews, I just completely lost my writing here when I finally filled it out. We have Quantum Thief and a lot of the First Adventure, SPC stickers, and Sticky stickers. And then here's where we're about to be caught up in this flip through, and I haven't written out the TV shows yet because I can only write so much all the time, so I'm going to fill it in sooner or later. But the sort of second half of this mid-year, we're really into the new Murderbot show, of course, because I've also been reading Murderbot. Loved it. We watched Population 11 because it stars Ben Feldman, and we recently rewatched Superstore, and I love it. So I was like, oh, he's in this Australian show, which is so random. He's literally in Outback Australia in this show. So we're like, you know what, let's watch it. I think it's on Prime in the US, but in Australia it's from Stan. It's like a Stan original. And Stan is like a streaming service in Australia. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed Population 11. It was fun and very Australian. And then we watched both the US and the UK version of Ghosts, because the UK one is the original and the US one is the remake, and I love both of them. Honestly, if you like one or the other, I would try watching the other one because they're both so good and they both bring different things to the idea. But yeah, loved both of those. I mean, recently already rewatched the US Ghosts. But that's about to come back in October, so I'm very excited for the new season, but loved those shows. Then I have a catch-up of my Infinity Nikki playlist. So we have Sea of Stars music, one of the songs there which I loved. Then we had Playful Season and When the Magic Begins. This is actually a like classical soundtrack, like game soundtrack. And this is like at the end, and it has the perfect Disney, end of a Disney movie music feel, which is why I love it. Then we have the song from the Blue Tears season, which I am obsessed with this song. I cannot actually listen to it because I will just replay it forever because I love it so much. And then we just had Dunqing season, which was a traditional Chinese fantasy. And we had Long's Chant, which was during the an end battle with Long, the dragon. And the lyrics of this, it is a song, but the lyrics are actually in an ancient Chinese, which is no longer actually spoken. So they use like linguistic information and scholars of how to bring it into the song. And it was so cool. So I just used it on the sticky sheet for this because I felt like it went with the theme of like some of the princess stuff happening here. And of course, we're way past mid-year, but how about we just I show you my last page. Because this is all I'm caught up now on my journal. But this is my September spread for the autumn equinox for Aurelium. So my characters having their second semester at the magic school. And I just used this set from SPC because I thought it turned out really cute and went well with the theme. And so these 6 books here are my books for the autumn equinox. Of course, I haven't filled this out yet because I have just finished Memory Police. And I haven't picked a book for this one yet. It's actually a 2 M's in the title, which I don't actually own at the moment, except for 1 book. So we will see how it goes. But yeah, so Royal Assassin, it was for, the prompt was a prime number as the title. So Royal Assassin is 13 letters, so it's a prime number. The Memory Police, I needed to do a translated book. This is How You Lose the Time War. I needed a book that had letters in it or on the cover. So there are letters in this book, like pretty obviously. Then of course I have 2 M's in the title, or at least 2 or more. Then I had to do a genre spin for this prompt and I got adventure. So I was like, you know what? Isles of the Ember Dark is an adventure book. It is tagged that way. So I'm going to read that. And then my final prompt is a book that has been adapted into a movie or TV. And we recently were watching Silo, so I decided, and we have Wool, so Silo is from the book Wool. So I'm going to read that for that, although they are planning to adapt The Memory Police into a movie with Lily Gladstone, but obviously that's not existing yet. And then I put 2 here just to like, you know, if I read more books, I'll have 2 spaces. In fact, I did read the novella, Brandon Sanderson novella, 6 of the Dusk, because this, okay, so I have Isles of the Ember Dark audiobook, right? And I turned it on and it starts with an author note and he says like, of course, you need to have read the 6th of the Dusk novella. So then I paused it right there, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to read that because I do have the novella and I haven't read it yet. So then I went and read the novella 6th of the Dusk. I'm like, okay, now I finished it. I can go read the audiobook. I press play, and then the next line is literally, but you don't have to read it for this because I've decided to put it in the book, Ember Dark book. It's as flashback chapters. And I was like, well, great. If I waited literally 10 seconds longer. So now I'm reading the Ember Dark, and I can just skip the chapters that include the 6th of the Dusk in it because they're like spread throughout the book. But I did some of that and it just felt weird and unconnected. So now I'm just listening to it again. So I didn't need to read 6th of the Dusk. But hey, I got an extra book of my how many books I read this year, I guess. If I just waited that 10 seconds, then I would have just done the Ember Dark book as is. But there you go. But that is the full flip through of my planets, my journal. As you can see, I have this many pages left. And I think that's enough of what I want to do because I will probably just have another Infinity Nikki playlist, possibly another TV because we just started some new TV shows. We started watching The Studio with Seth Rogen. So I'll probably have another TV page, another Infinity Nikki playlist, and then, of course, I'm going to have October, November, December. I think I have plenty of space to finish out 2025 in here. But I hope you enjoyed this very yappy flip through, mid-year flip through. And then of course at the end I do want to do sort of a yearly wrap up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below by putting in maybe some book emojis, or you know, I don't know, book emoji is probably fine if you enjoyed watching this flip, this catch up with me. And let me know otherwise with a like and a subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to try to do some more filming in the future, but I've just been taking it slow and just been limiting what I'm doing with my hand. But now I think I'm done with these, so I think it'll be easier in the future to continue going. So I do plan, I should do a, I will film October for you guys, just setting up the page. Because, you know, it's fun and quick, and we can go over maybe my books from September. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.